Ever feel like she sees right through you? Like she understands your feelings, maybe even better than you do? But when you try to figure out how she feels about you, it's quiet. Her affection is so subtle that you're constantly wondering, does she actually like me? Or is this all in my head? Here's the thing you need to understand. The INFJ female, one of the rarest personality types, doesn't love loudly. She loves deeply. Her affection isn't found in big, dramatic declarations, but in the quiet, steady, and thoughtful details that are so easy to miss if you don't know what to look for. It's a love that once you finally see it, feels like coming home. So, if you're ready to solve the mystery, let's pull back the curtain on the 9 specific signs that an INFJ female is serious about you. She selectively unlocks her inner world. The first and biggest sign is that she starts to unlock her fiercely protected inner world, just for you. INFJ women are naturally private, not because they don't have anything to share, but because they have too much depth to give it away casually. On the surface, they might seem calm, composed, even a little distant, but underneath that is a rich, complex inner life filled with thoughts, emotions, and reflections that they don't reveal easily. That distance isn't coldness. It's protection, built over time from being misunderstood or feeling like others couldn't truly meet them where they are. So when she begins to open up to you, even in small ways, it means something real is happening. She might start by sharing a personal story, a hidden fear, or a dream she hasn't told anyone else. It may not seem dramatic, but for her it's a big step. This kind of vulnerability doesn't come naturally or quickly. It's intentional. She's quietly asking, without saying it directly, "Can I trust you with this part of me?" What makes this even more meaningful is how carefully she observes your response. INFJs have strong intuition, and she will notice everything. Not just your words, but your tone, your reactions, even your silence. If you respond with genuine interest, patience, and no judgment, she will feel safe enough to open up a little more next time. Trust builds slowly, layer by layer. But if she senses dismissal, discomfort, or insincerity, even for a moment, she will retreat just as quickly. It won't be dramatic. She'll simply stop sharing, and that door will close again. This is why her openness is such a powerful sign. It's not something she gives freely or often. When she chooses to let you see beyond the surface, she's allowing you into a space that very few people ever get access to. As this trust grows, you'll notice her becoming more relaxed around you. Her thoughts will come out more naturally, her guard will lower, and her true personality will begin to show more clearly. It's a slow process, but a meaningful one. When an INFJ woman trusts you with her inner world, she's not just sharing information. She's offering you emotional closeness in its purest form. She's telling you, without needing to say it directly, that you've earned a place in a part of her life that she protects the most. She becomes an expert on you. The second sign is more subtle, but once you notice it, it's impossible to ignore. She gives you her full attention and slowly becomes a quiet expert on who you are. INFJs are naturally deep listeners, but when they genuinely like someone, that ability sharpens even more. It's no longer just about hearing what you say. She starts tuning into how you say it, the emotion behind your words, and even the things you choose not to say out loud. While most people listen to respond, she listens to understand. She'll notice the slight change in your tone when something is bothering you. She'll pick up on patterns in your behavior, your moods, your habits. You might not even realize you've revealed something important about yourself, but she has already stored it away. This isn't intrusive or calculated. It's quiet, natural, and deeply attentive. Over time, this attention turns into a kind of personal map of you. She remembers small details that others would forget almost instantly. Maybe you mentioned your favorite food in passing, or talked about a childhood memory without thinking much of it. Weeks later, she brings it up again, not to impress you, but because it genuinely stayed with her. That level of attention doesn't happen by accident. It happens because she cares. You'll start to notice it in her actions. She might bring you something you like without asking. She might check in on you about something you mentioned days ago. She might adjust the way she communicates based on what makes you comfortable. None of this will feel forced or exaggerated. In fact, she'll probably act like it's nothing special. But behind those small actions is a steady investment of her time and energy. For an INFJ, energy is not something they give away lightly. They are selective about where it goes, because they know how draining the world can be. So when she chooses to focus on you like this, it means you matter to her in a real way. She is choosing to understand you, not just on the surface, but on a deeper level that most people never reach. This quiet attention is her way of showing care without needing to say it directly. She may not always express her feelings out loud, but through her awareness of you, she communicates something just as meaningful. She's saying, in her own way, that you are seen, you are heard, and you are important to her. Her love is expressed through thoughtful actions. This brings us to the third sign, and it's one that's easy to overlook if you're only paying attention to words. Her love shows up far more in what she does than in what she says. INFJ women often have a deep inner world and can express themselves beautifully in writing or reflection. But when it comes to speaking their feelings out loud, especially in real time, it doesn't always come easily. Instead of long emotional speeches, they let their actions do the talking. What makes this different from ordinary kindness is the level of intention behind it. Her actions are not random or generic. They are thoughtful, specific, and tailored directly to you. She pays attention to what matters to you, what stresses you out, what comforts you, and then she quietly responds to those things in a way that feels natural. If you've had a difficult week, she might show up with something small but meaningful, like your favorite snack, or something she knows will lift your mood. If you've been overwhelmed, she might step in and take care of something without making a big announcement about it. These gestures are rarely dramatic. In fact, they're often so subtle that you might miss them if you're not looking closely. She won't point them out or expect recognition. She doesn't do these things to be praised. For her, it's simply how love works. It's about creating a sense of ease and comfort for you without needing attention in return. Over time, these small actions build into something much bigger. You start to feel supported in ways that are hard to explain. Things seem a little smoother, a little lighter, because she's quietly contributing to your well-being. She's paying attention to the details that others overlook and using that awareness to care for you in practical, meaningful ways. This is her way of building a safe and steady environment around you. It's not loud or attention-seeking. It's consistent, thoughtful, and grounded, and that consistency is what makes it powerful. For an INFJ, love is not about making a statement. It's about showing up, again and again, in small ways that matter. When she cares about you, she puts that care into action, creating a sense of peace and support that you can feel, even if she never fully puts it into words. Now pause for a second. Which of these signs have you actually seen in real life? Drop it in the comments. And if this is helping you understand her better, hit like and subscribe. 4. She includes you in her future. The fourth sign is one of the clearest indicators that her feelings are serious. She starts to include you in her vision of the future. INFJ women naturally think ahead. Their minds are often focused on long-term meaning, purpose, and where their life is heading. They don't just live moment to moment. They are constantly connecting the present to what could come next. Because of that, they are very careful about who they allow into those future thoughts. When she begins to like you, something shifts. Her future is no longer just about her. Without making a big announcement, she starts to place you into it. It won't always be obvious at first. It can show up in small, almost casual comments. She might talk about a place she dreams of visiting and then add that you would enjoy it too. She might mention a goal she's working toward and ask what you think about it, not just out of curiosity, but because she's trying to see how your perspective fits into her path. These moments might seem light on the surface, but they carry a deeper meaning. She's not just sharing ideas. She's quietly exploring compatibility. She's asking herself whether your values, your lifestyle, and your direction could align with hers over time. For an INFJ, emotional connection is important, but long-term alignment matters just as much. You may also notice that she starts asking more thoughtful questions about your goals and your future. She wants to understand not just who you are now, but who you're becoming. She's looking for signs that your paths could realistically move forward together. This isn't about pressure or expectations. It's about clarity. As this develops, you begin to feel more included in her world. Conversations start to carry more weight. They move beyond the present and into what could be built over time. That shift doesn't happen with just anyone. It happens when she sees real potential in the connection. For an INFJ, letting someone into her future is a quiet but meaningful step. It shows that she's not just enjoying your presence in the moment. She's considering you as part of something lasting. When she starts weaving you into her plans, her dreams, and her long-term thinking, she's offering something deeper than attraction. She's offering the possibility of building a life together, slowly, thoughtfully, and with intention. She makes time for you, even when she has no energy. Sign number 5 is one of the strongest and most telling signs of all. She makes time for you, even when she has no energy left. INFJ women are deeply introverted at their core. They need solitude not just as a preference, but as a way to reset and stay emotionally balanced. After dealing with the noise of the outside world, they often retreat into their own space to recharge. This hermit mode is not something they take lightly. It's essential for their well-being. That's what makes this sign so meaningful. When an INFJ female genuinely likes you, you become an exception to that rule. Even when she feels drained, even when she would normally choose to be alone, she still chooses to make space for you. That doesn't happen for just anyone. It means your presence feels different to her. It doesn't take from her energy in the same way others do. In many cases, it actually restores it. You might notice that she turns down invitations to social events, but agrees to spend time with you instead. A crowded environment might feel overwhelming to her, but a calm, one-on-one moment with you feels safe and manageable. She may also reach out during times when she usually disconnects from everyone else. That's a clear sign that she feels comfortable letting you into her quiet space. What's important here is the intention behind it. She's not forcing herself to show up out of obligation. She's choosing to be there because she wants to be. There's a sense of ease in your presence that allows her to relax instead of perform. She doesn't feel the need to constantly manage the interaction or protect her energy in the same way she does with others. Over time, this creates a different kind of connection. You become associated with calm rather than stress, with comfort rather than pressure. In a life where she has to be careful about where her energy goes, you become one of the few places where she doesn't feel depleted afterward. This is why her time is so valuable. When she gives it to you, especially when she has very little to give, it carries weight. It shows that you matter enough for her to step out of her usual pattern and make room for you. By choosing you even in her lowest energy moments, she's offering something rare. She's showing that being with you feels like peace, not effort, and that's one of the clearest signs that her feelings are real. 6. She becomes your biggest champion. The 6th sign goes deeper than simple affection. She doesn't just appreciate who you are right now, she sees who you could become, and she genuinely believes in that version of you. When an INFJ woman falls for someone, she naturally starts noticing their potential. Not in a vague or unrealistic way, but with a clear sense of where your strengths lie and what you're capable of if you fully step into them. This belief shows up in how she supports you. She becomes your quiet encourager, the one who reminds you of your abilities when you start doubting yourself. She'll notice the things you're good at, even the ones you overlook, and she'll gently push you toward them. If you mention a goal or a dream, even casually, she will remember it. Later, she might bring it up again, not to pressure you, but to remind you that it matters. What makes this different from ordinary support is how consistent it is. She's not just there during your high moments. She stays steady when you feel stuck or unsure. She doesn't lose sight of your potential just because you're struggling in the moment. In her mind, those struggles are temporary. The bigger picture is still there. At times, this support can come with honesty that feels a bit direct. If she sees you holding yourself back, ignoring your own values, or settling for less than what you're capable of, she might speak up, not harshly, but clearly. This isn't criticism. It comes from a place of belief. She knows what you can be, and it's hard for her to stay silent when she sees you moving away from that. The key difference is that she's not trying to change who you are. She's not molding you into something else. She's helping you become more of what you already are at your core. She respects your individuality, but she also sees your growth as something meaningful, not just for you, but for the relationship as a whole. When you have an INFJ woman supporting you like this, you feel it. There's a sense that someone truly understands your potential and wants to see you succeed, not for their benefit, but for yours. This kind of support creates a strong foundation. It builds trust, motivation, and a deeper connection over time. And when she stands by you in that way, consistently encouraging your growth, she becomes more than just someone who cares. She becomes someone who believes in you, even when you don't fully believe in yourself yet. She lets you see her creative and spiritual side. Here's a deeply personal sign, and one that carries a lot of emotional weight. She starts letting you see her creative or spiritual side. For an INFJ, this part of her life is not casual or surface level. It's where her deepest thoughts, feelings, and identity live. It's how she processes the world, how she makes sense of emotions, and how she expresses things she can't always put into normal conversation. Because of that, she doesn't share this side of herself easily. If she begins to open this space to you, it means she trusts you on a much deeper level. She might show you something she's written, like a poem, a journal entry, or even a piece of creative work she's been quietly working on. She might send you a song that resonates with her, not just because it sounds good, but because it reflects something she feels inside. These aren't random shares. They are personal expressions, and by showing them to you, she's allowing you to see parts of her that most people never get access to. This kind of openness takes courage for her. Creative expression is often tied to vulnerability, and sharing it means risking being misunderstood or dismissed. So when she chooses to share it with you, she's testing whether you can handle that level of honesty and depth. Your reaction matters more than you might realize. If you respond with genuine interest and respect, she will feel safe enough to keep opening up. The same depth applies to her spiritual side. For many INFJs, there is a strong sense of inner belief or connection to something meaningful beyond the surface of everyday life. This doesn't have to follow a specific structure. It could be a personal philosophy, a sense of purpose, or a quiet connection to nature or reflection. Whatever form it takes, it's an important part of who she is. If she starts talking about these beliefs with you, or invites you into that space, even in a small way, it means she sees you as someone who won't judge or dismiss what matters most to her. This is not something she shares quickly. It usually comes after she has observed you, understood you, and decided that you are someone she can trust with her deeper self. When she opens this door, she's not just sharing interests, she's sharing meaning. And that's one of the clearest signs that her feelings for you go beyond the surface. Take a moment and think about it. Has someone ever shown you love in these quiet ways? Or maybe you're the one who loves like this. Either way, share your experience below. And if you relate to this, like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss more insights like this. 8. She becomes adorably clumsy and flustered. Now here's a side of her that can feel surprising, even a little confusing at first. For someone who is usually calm, thoughtful, and in control of herself, she might suddenly become a bit clumsy or flustered around you. INFJ women are typically composed. They think before they speak, they carry themselves with quiet confidence, and they tend to stay a few steps ahead in most situations. But when strong feelings come into play, that balance can shift in unexpected ways. When she has a genuine crush, her usual sense of control can get disrupted. You might notice her losing her train of thought mid-sentence, or struggling to find the right words when she's talking to you. She may say something, and then quickly second-guess it, or laugh it off in a way that feels slightly nervous. These are small moments, but they stand out because they're so different from her usual behavior. You might also see it in her actions. She could become a little physically awkward, dropping something, fumbling with her hands, or just seeming slightly out of sync when you're nearby. It's not because she lacks confidence in general. It's because her attention is suddenly split. Part of her is trying to stay present and composed, while another part is very aware of you and how much you matter to her in that moment. Her mind, which is normally organized and observant, can become overwhelmed by emotion. Instead of analyzing everything clearly, she's feeling it all at once. That intensity can make her seem a bit off balance, even though it's coming from something very genuine. You may also notice shifts in her behavior. One day she might be open, warm, and talkative. The next, she could seem quieter or more reserved. This isn't inconsistency in how she feels. It's her trying to process and manage those feelings internally. INFJs tend to retreat slightly when emotions get strong, not because they're losing interest, but because they're trying to understand what they're feeling before fully expressing it. These small, awkward moments are actually meaningful. They show that you have an emotional impact on her. You're not just another person she interacts with comfortably. You're someone who affects her enough to disrupt her usual sense of control. In a way, these imperfections are a glimpse behind her composed exterior. They reveal something real and unfiltered. And when you see that side of her, it's often a sign that her feelings are deeper than she's able to say out loud. She creates a story around your connection. And finally, the ninth sign is something subtle but incredibly meaningful. She starts to build a story around your connection. INFJs don't experience relationships in a surface-level way. They naturally look for depth, meaning, and patterns in everything, especially in love. When she begins to care about you deeply, she doesn't just see you as someone she's spending time with. In her mind, you become part of a larger narrative, something that feels important and lasting. You'll start to notice this in how she talks about your shared moments. Things that might seem small or ordinary to others begin to take on a deeper meaning for her. A simple conversation becomes something she reflects on later. A quiet moment together becomes a memory she holds on to. She may refer back to these experiences in a way that shows they stayed with her, not just as events, but as meaningful points in a story she's forming in her mind. This can also show up in how she connects different moments together. She might notice patterns, coincidences, or timing that feel significant to her. She may not always say it directly, but she's quietly making sense of your connection in a way that feels almost symbolic. For her, it's not just about what's happening now. It's about what it could mean over time. You might also see this in the way she relates certain things to you. A song, a place, a phrase, or even a small habit of yours can become linked to how she feels about you. These associations aren't random. They are her way of giving emotional meaning to the connection. She's turning shared experiences into something that feels personal and lasting. This doesn't come from simple romantic thinking. It comes from how deeply she processes emotions. When someone matters to her, she doesn't take that lightly. She reflects on it, builds meaning around it, and tries to understand its place in her life. When she starts doing this with you, it's a strong sign that you're not just another person passing through. You've become part of something she sees as important. In her mind, your connection is no longer just a series of moments. It becomes a story that's unfolding, one she's emotionally invested in. And when an INFJ sees you as part of that story, it means she's already thinking about you in a much deeper and more lasting way. So, there you have it, 9 of the most powerful signs that an INFJ female is truly into you. What makes all of this so different is how subtle it is. Her love isn't loud or obvious, and that's why it's so often misunderstood. It lives in the details, in the small patterns of behavior, in the consistency of how she shows up for you over time. Because her love language is so nuanced, it takes patience to really see it for what it is. But once you start recognizing those quiet signals, you begin to understand just how deep her feelings actually run. What you'll find is not something temporary or surface level. It's a kind of love that is steady, intentional, and incredibly loyal. She doesn't give her heart easily, but when she does, she gives it fully. That's why understanding these signs matters. It helps you appreciate what she's offering, even when she's not saying it directly. If you've been noticing these signs in someone, take a moment to reflect on them. Think about how she shows up, how she listens, how she makes space for you in her life. Those things are not accidental. They're choices, repeated over time. And if this resonates with you, I'd really like to hear your perspective. Which of these signs stood out the most to you? Have you experienced this kind of connection before, either as an INFJ or with one? Share your thoughts in the comments. Those real experiences often add a deeper layer to this conversation. Also, if you found this helpful, take a second to like the video and subscribe. It helps more people find this kind of content, especially those who are trying to understand relationships on a deeper level. At its core, learning to understand an INFJ's love is a bit like learning a new language. At first, it can feel confusing, even hard to read. But the more attention you give it, the more it starts to make sense. And once it does, you realize just how meaningful it is. It's a love that doesn't just exist on the surface. It looks for connection at a deeper level, one that goes beyond simple attraction or convenience. It's thoughtful, it's intentional, and it's rooted in understanding. When an INFJ loves you, they're not just present in your life. They're invested in who you are, who you're becoming, and what your connection truly means. And that kind of love, quiet as it may be, is something rare and worth recognizing. Before you go, one last thing. If you made it this far, you're definitely someone who values deeper connections. So go ahead, like the video, subscribe, and tell me your thoughts in the comments.